Technology is an ever growing field, as we all may know. Now more than ever, it is time for every type of person to get involved. Although people of color are making strides in this industry, there is a strong need for more of us to be in these fields.
Our guest uses technology to help visionary entrepreneurs disrupt their industry with innovative products and platforms. Here to discuss his path in a career of tech is Nick Scott.
Yes, Nick Scott.
How you doing, Nick?
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what you specifically do.
All right. Well, it's quite a bit, just because it's been a journey this year in tech. Currently I am a product designer and strategist for established entrepreneurs in their industry who are looking. They developed some authority, and now they're looking to kind of disrupt that industry, and they need something innovative. They need a competitive advantage. They might be non-technical, and we come in and make it better. But getting there, this past year, I had to teach myself coding, a lot of different aspects of technology. I had to really see where the future was going with AI and everything to get there. So it's been a journey.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go to the product.
Sure.
So what products are these companies selling? What is the product?
For instance, one of them is a global investment deal club. So it's like a social club in New York for investors and startups. So startups get to go there and pitch, and they have access to all these investors. Investors get to go there, see these startups, and they have opportunities to invest. And it's a very kind of like high caliber, sophisticated experience. For instance, we are helping them build a social networking application to kind of further the connections that are happening, and help people who attend, really strengthen the relationships that they're making. We've got, people ranging from, guys in Wall Street who are looking to potentially automate, trading.
Using like an app.
Yes.
Which you would develop.
Yes.
Or help to develop.
Yes.
And so when you say coding, you mean like actually writing the code for the app.
Yep.
So what's the difference between writing code for an app and web development?
Just kind of the languages that are involved. With a website, typically it's a bit more static, and you're just kind of developing this front end. But with like software and applications, there's a lot of back-end stuff involved as far as having a database, having context of who your users are, being able to connect to other integrations and systems that power the platform. For instance, think about an app you downloaded where maybe you could have logged in with like Facebook or Google, so things like that.
So it's been a very long time since I even attempted to code, way back when you had to move the little turtle around. You remember that in elementary school? Oh, you probably don't.
I don't. I thought you were going to say like HTML on MySpace.
No.
That's where everybody tells me they learned to code was MySpace.
In the 90s, there were computers.
I got that.
You could put in inputs for this little turtle thing, and it would move around on the screen, and that was actually like coding. Don't ask me what it was called. We'll call it Turtle.
Okay.
So
cool.
Way back then, it was very simple. But it seems like now it's something that works on a framework of other things that have already been built. Yes, true.
Yeah, if you think about way back in the day to what you're referring to, I just kind of made all of us feel old real quick.
You did.
But I'm just saying at the beginning, not even at the beginning of computers, but back in the 90s, right? Like people are still using what we call like a command line interface, which is kind of that intimidating black screen where you just type in like file directories and commands and things like that, but you don't really get that visual graphic interface. And right now, there's so many different frameworks. There's so many different ways people can create software, apps, websites, or anything like that with limited coding knowledge. We've got the kind of what you see is what you get editors, drag and drop type things, Squarespace, WordPress, and you're starting to see some of that for actual web applications as well. So the future is kind of no code. which is funny because there's a big variety of coding frameworks. But even for developers, if you can simplify the process and templatize, and you don't have to spend that much time coding, it's kind of better for everyone.
Templatize.
So, all those words that you just threw out there, those
Yeah.
little $500 words but you need to, for someone who's like me, I know that coding is a big deal. There are camps,
Right.
there are different schools that you can go to. People are really promoting, girls in coding,
Yeah.
kids in coding and things like that. How did you sit down long enough to teach yourself to code? It seems like a difficult language.
Okay, yeah, I mean, well, there's different types of languages, and that's where the growth kind of happened. So, when I think back to when I was a kid, I used to go into work with my mom. She worked at Fidelity Investments, and being somewhere there in the early 2000s and the big whole .com thing, they've got big, gigantic computer labs. So when I was a kid, I taught myself HTML there, how to make a basic website. And, then I went into high school and thought it was lame. So I left all of that stuff behind. And now, I'd say 26 last year, I decided that, this was something I want to learn. So I actually started with something that actually didn't have to do with coding at all, which is Facebook Messenger bots. And it was a cool way to kind of start dipping my toes into tech without having to worry about coding. And what I would do is I would learn how to make them and connect them to businesses' Facebook pages and help them automate customer service and make more interactive marketing experiences. And that's when I came into my kind of profitable skill, because I realized businesses will pay, anywhere from $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for things like that. And it really didn't take me long to build at all. And after that, I learned that you can do more advanced things with them to make them a little bit more powerful. You think about businesses, they want something that'll connect to their existing systems and help them automate tasks. So I had to learn how to connect something like that to everything else technical that a business may be using. And that's when I was like, oh, maybe I should learn how to code and get better at this. So I taught myself. I had some mentors who I didn't, invest in a course or like a camp. I just had some guys who would literally sit and screen share with me on a computer for 2 hours, and we just interactively code together.
So break it down. What is a bot? Because I've heard so many negative things about it, but
Oh,
you
man.
made it seem like it's like,
Yeah, I mean, so they're relatively new, and they some people don't do them the right way. So I mean, I myself have had bad experiences or annoying experiences with bots. But basically, they're just a way to automate conversation. So anytime you go to a website and you're not talking to a live person, but you get this automated response in that chat window, that's a bot. When you click on message on somebody's Facebook page and you get an instantaneous message, that's a bot. And you can program them as complex as you want them to be. You can literally put entire application forms in those things.
And the advantage of having a bot for a business is just to streamline the customer service aspect of the business.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
everyone is probably going to have, if they don't already, will have bots.
Most businesses, I think, should have some form of, automating conversations and customer support. Yes.
So is it pretty much the same thing as when you jump on the phone and you're desperately trying to speak to a real person, but you're getting the lady and you're like 0, 1,
Yes.
whatever, that's a bot.
Yes.
Got it.
really?
Aha!
So the person who's
Crack
just
the code.
if you do one,
Yes.
or I can help you right now. Just give me your card or give me your phone. That's a bot?
Yeah.
You've been using bots this whole time. You didn't even know it.
Now I can quit whatever I'm doing. I am experienced.
So people may not know, and I definitely want to touch on this, but you are quite a talented person.
Yes.
With a diverse pool of things that you are really good at.
Right.
And I heard you mention profitable skill, and
Yes.
you and I have had conversations about this before. Would you just touch on that a little bit as far as how it can help people in our community when it comes to really trying to break out of your education, whether it be high school or
Right.
college, post that, and trying to take yourself to the next level?
Yeah, so I mean, for anybody who wants to know, I didn't even finish college. I didn't want to.
I do want to, but I have not.
No, I love education,
But
and
not in a classroom form.
well, in some cases, I mean, I attended college for maybe a couple semesters without the intention of getting a degree. So I literally just went to kind of sit in on psychology and communications classes because even though I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point, I knew something like those would kind of help me in any field that I was in. Yeah, I mean, one of the best pieces of advice I got from my brother is college is what you make out of it. You know what I mean? Whether you're going to a tech school or Harvard, it really is what you make out of it and what you're going to do with it. And also, you got to remember, I graduated 2009. So at the time, it felt a little bit more risky to not do that because there wasn't this big plethora of online information, at the click of a finger like there is now. But these days especially, I mean, most of how I learn and a lot of very high-value people in my network, how they learn is literally self-taught on the computer, grabbing a quick course on like Udemy or something like that. And that's most of the most important things that I have learned that have really helped me level up and get that profitable skill have all been things that I learned online.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. So you're telling everyone don't go to college, Nick?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm just saying don't be afraid to kind of get your education wherever you can.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's definitely some I think people who need to go to college. I would hope that my doctor, went to college.
No, they're just gonna do it online, Nick. That's what they're gonna do.
But I'd say with like business and tech, especially things that move very fast, tech is evolving. I almost wouldn't want to go to college for something like tech because I'd feel like as soon as I got in the class and started, the curriculum would already be outdated. So.
Well, thank you so much. Nick, tell everyone where we can find you. Can we slide in your DMs if we have any questions?
Yeah, just gotta look me up on Facebook, Nikki Scott, or look for me on Instagram, and just slide in those DMs. I do have a website. It's aoslabs.live, and that's it. Shoot me a message.
All right.
Awesome.
You heard Nick. Don't go to college.